We live, baby. We live. Look at this. All right, back at it. Let's see what I said we were going to do today. Yes, the newsletter. Okay, that's what we're going to be doing, but also we're going to talk about some upcoming stuff, upcoming events while I do a little bit of research. Can you see me all right? Perfect. Okay. As always, submit your questions. I got a little monitor here, got a monitor there. Boom, bam, boom, ba, yeah. We're going all over the place today, baby. Right? So, season 5 just started. I hope y'all been following along. Season 5 is probably going to be the most successful one, I'd say, that we've been doing thus far. It's hard to believe that started this in 2017, almost 10 years ago. Um, what's happening? Rhizome Roots. Yes, indeed. Welcome. Talking about season 5. Season 5 has so many cool stories that I've come across. I'm talking. So I already did Kenna, right? That's the big one. I was supposed to post Metairie Cemetery. I'm gonna just tell y'all since y'all watching the live. Hello, hello. Hello, hello, 985, my friend. Right on, 985. That's the best area code. That's what I hear anyway. But I think it's gonna be the best one. So we got Kenna. I was supposed to post Metairie Racetrack today. Um, then every Monday is gonna be a new video for several months. Um, while we get things rolling out, I'll be writing more and I'm gonna be filming more to do season 6 and beyond. So we always gonna be doing stuff. But along with that is some um events. Yeah, that's the coolest part of 2026, I think. Lined up to do buku events, and tonight um, is the official announcement that we're going to be at the 2026 Paracon in Lafayette. Yeah, Miriam's right here. That's who I keep looking at. That is going to be so fun. They're going to do like investigations and stuff, but I'm going to be speaking there. Um, it's going to be a fun time. So definitely come check us out if you're going to be there. Stephen Badgeron, hello. What's going on? Official bit of chicky. Right on. Always looking forward to your content. Man, I appreciate that. Truly. I really appreciate that. I do it for y'all too. It's a little bit for me because I'm so nosy and I want to know, all about history and stuff. I'm just a nerd, right? But y'all love it. Y'all appreciate the stuff. So, I love doing it for y'all. It's truly fun. And I've been doing this now for almost 10 years, not like in the form that we see today, obviously. But yeah, it's gonna be fun, especially going to these other events that we're gonna be having. So we have the Paracon, that's gonna be in April 10th and 11th. The next closest one is gonna be Thibodaux. Where are my Thibodaux people? That is on January 31st is the King Cake Festival out there in Thibodaux, and your boy is going to be a judge out there. Super excited. I love king cake. I love eating, so it's going to be a fun time. We're going to be out there representing Louisiana Dread, and yeah, y'all got to come check us out. Then I don't know what is how many we got. It because I'm doing the coastal cook off, judge at a coastal cook off thing in February. I have Bourbon Fest that I'll be speaking at in New Orleans. That's going to be fun too because it'll be all about bootlegging and Louisiana specific bootlegging stories, prohibition times, things like that. Like Izzy Epstein, and all y'all watching right now, Izzy Epstein. There's a little precursor to what I'll be talking about over there. He was a dry agent, and effectively, dry agents were tasked by the government to go into cities and find liquor stores, right? I'm sorry, not liquor stores, stores of alcohol, like just massive warehouses or just a mass of barrels, right? And part of this big plan was to find out the main cities you want to target to do big raids at, and that was New Orleans was chosen as the biggest one because they had to go to like different cities, and it was the people outside yelling threw me off a little bit. So they would go to the cities, and they would see how long it took to get alcohol. Chicago was in first place, I think, with X amount of time, but New Orleans won with a score of 35 seconds. Took 35 seconds during Prohibition to get alcohol because the guy walks out the airport, gets in the cab, and the taxi cab driver has some gin. He's offered him some gin from under his seat. So we got a lot of good bootlegging stories. There's a few of them that were born in New Orleans. There's the Derrida Gang. The Derrida Gang, that's West Louisiana. I looked into that today. I still don't know a lot about them, but I'm going to be doing some more research on. In fact, let's do it right now, baby. We got some time. They are the Derrida Gang. I know we got some people that like Derrida, that live in Derrida too. It is really cool. Okay. The tight knit groups, violent acts. Okay, that's a given. Bootlegger, Derrida Gang, the bootleg kings and queens. So many people near Derrida were bootleg and moonshiners. Vernon Parish, that's a lot too, from what I hear. If anybody from Vernon Parish, you gotta tell me all about your moonshine. I'm a distiller too, so that's something that's gonna be, more up my alley too. Not even talking about distilling itself, more about the storytelling, which I'm gonna be focused on with that. But that's Bourbon Fest. I kind of got off track. Look at me getting off track. No chance that always happens. But we are going to be going to after Bourbon Fest. That is in March. I'm going to be speaking at Texas State University in San Marcos, Texas. So keep an eye out for that. That's going to be a big event because that is the Gods and Monsters Conference where I'm going to talk about the Rougarou, the Fou-Fouillé, L'Teche, Lutin, the Grunch, all these cryptids, mystical creatures and such from our folklore that truly transcends traditional folklore. It made us who we are, right? I was telling Miriam, like, my behind was inside every night before that sun went down. I didn't want to get eaten by the Rougarou, right? I was petrified of this thing. I didn't want to go outside at night. If you outside at night and you hear something rustling in the trees, it's the Rougarou. You go bullfrogging with your parents, or your family, whatever. You hear something out there. Oh, it's Rougarou. He's out there. So that kind of it shapes who you are. Growing up here, thinking about the Rougarou and all these other cryptid beasts and such. So that's going to be an adventure. Also, because you're watching this live, I'm going to give you this little bit of information. All 9 of you that are here, we're going to be launching Texas Dread. That is going to be it's going to be a massive feat. I got everything. I've been working on it for a while, doing a little bit of research here and there. And we're going out and I'm going to be able to film a bunch of stuff. And that's just going to be the lot of what I have. Instead of, it's easier over here in Louisiana and this is always going to be number 1, baby. Never get that wrong. Never get that mixed up. Louisiana's always going to be number 1. Louisiana Dread, number 1 to the moon. But we're going to get into Texas because they got a lot of interesting stories too. Nothing compared to us probably, but we'll see. What? I hype up Louisiana. You know what I mean? I love Louisiana. So anyway, we're going to Texas. We're gonna be telling a lot of cool Texas stories. But I got a lot of stuff that we've been working on too. So it's gonna be a busy year. It's gonna be a fun year. Let's keep going. I still have to write this newsletter. That's another thing I kind of want to start thinking about more of, just to interact with y'all as a group. Like, I enjoy showing the stuff that I learn, like all the different articles I read, and he's like, oh wow, this is interesting. A UFO crash landed in Vernon Parish in 2000. I just made that up, right? Like, let's say that happened. I want y'all to know about it too. So the easiest way for me to do that, other than Facebook and stuff, is to send out this newsletter and to let y'all know what we're gonna be getting into. We're gonna be getting into a lot of stuff in the next 4 quarters of 2026, and this is gonna be quarterly. I ain't gonna hit you over the head with it. Also, that's a lot of work. This is uh, still a week I've been working on this freaking thing. You can ask her. I just I need to change it. Every little object, I need to alter it. But the actual process of creating a newsletter, if anyone has never done one before, it's nothing short of a nightmare. So I think that it would be more beneficial for all of us if we just do this thing quarterly. I tried to do it monthly a year or two ago, probably. Wrong, terrible, shouldn't have done that. Take it easy. Once a quarter. How about that? You're lucky if you get once a quarter, maybe once every 6 months. No, I'm just kidding. Once a quarter will be good. Um, Sometimes I do things only to make her laugh here. Sorry. But yeah, so we gonna go. I got the January newsletter is gonna be coming in, and everybody who is subscribed to our website, louisianadread.com. It's free. You just go to louisianadread.com. On the top, you're going to see newsletters. And all you got to do is put your email in there, and then it'll send it to you automatically. It's just like a letter from me telling you what's going on. I do a top 5 just because it's fun. So this month's going to be the top 5 best gumbos that I've had. I've been doing the gumbo reviews for quite some time. I'm on 130 something, maybe, or 140 something that I've put up. I'm well over 175 that I'm just sitting on and gonna, put them out as time goes on. But these are the top 5 in the state of Louisiana that I've tried so far, and I've tried a lot. So if that's something you're interested in, go to louisianadread.com, click on newsletter, put your email address in there, and it's going to go to you as soon as I'm finished. But that's page 1. Some exclusive merch too, y'all. I forgot to talk about the merch. We got new merch. That's what I'm going to be talking about in the newsletter too. Got new merch, right? Speaking of gumbo, that is it. That is the shirt. It's alligator, big old fat alligator, because he's eating a lot of gumbo. He don't like tomatoes in his gumbo, and guess what? Neither me. If you like tomatoes in your gumbo, that's perfectly fine. You okay? Just, I know you probably won't like the shirt. Sorry, but we we have another shirt, even better shirt, designed by Miriam here. She designed it, and it's that gumbo review, and it's a little caricature of me. I love it. It looks really cool. Go check that out. That's always gonna be a good time too. Whenever we go to these events, y'all bring it out. Y'all could wear the shirt. We can go high five. We'll take pictures. But yeah, we got a lot more merch coming. I've been working on some little merch designs here and there, and that's just not that's. There's a shirt that says Louisiana Dread, which is cool. If you want to wear that, I'd love you. That'd be great. It's just, I think that's a little boring. So I want to do like a little design on it. It's like Dad Gumbo Review. That's what she did, right? Something cool like that. So we'll be working on some more merch. Keep an eye out for that. We'll be doing merch drops with the newsletter, so you'll be able to see whenever we have these drops. Also, if you're a Patreon subscriber or a subscriber on the website, a YouTube membership holder, a Facebook membership holder, one of those exclusive tiers, you're gonna get the merch drops ahead of everybody else too, as well as more videos. I just uploaded next week's video. I'm working on that as well to upload to Patreon and all the other ones. You get it a week early for now, and then we're gonna keep. Actually, I could just release the whole season. We'll do that, and then you have access to the full season. And then I just need to make the captions and all that. My God, there's always something to do. I'm complaining here for that. But you know what I mean. We got to do the. I read the description and stuff like that too for everybody. So it's coming. I'm gonna just upload up to Patreon. Everything's filmed and edited already for season 5. So we got the schedule ready to rock and roll. But I'm gonna be working on this newsletter for the foreseeable future. It seems I just got one page left. I don't know why. It's like pulling teeth. What?
You can do it.
Thank you. Um, but yeah, it's gonna be a good time. What's up, y'all? T Pat. What's happening, T Pat? Welcome, welcome, baby. I'm new to this channel. What's the score? All right, Andrew. You're new to the channel. Welcome. Welcome, my friend. This is Louisiana Dread. It's a one-stop shop for everything authentic Louisiana culture. My name's Kyle. I started this in 2017 as a horror anthology series based off of Louisiana culture, history, and folklore, right? I wrote a horror series, Twilight Zone, Black Mirror. It's an anthology, right? I finished 10 scripts, 10 unique stories that are their own standalone, right? And I wrote it and I wanted to, make it, but these films will cost a lot of money. So I was like, hey, why don't I just start a YouTube channel and talk about aspects of each of these little stories. And if anyone's interested, they'll watch. Just so you can watch this TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, short, quick history stuff as an appetizer before you watch the main course, which is this horror anthology series that I'd like to make eventually once I get funding for it, right? So the premise of each will vary. Obviously, it's all over the state, from Shreveport down to Venice to Grand Isle, from Lake Charles to Slidell and beyond. So every part of the state is represented, and it just kind of blew up when I was just telling the history. I wanted people to know the history. Never thought I'd go to Louisiana, but last January ended up in Natchitoches for 3 to 4 months. Natchitoches is a cool spot. Natchitoches is fun. I tell you that. It was a good time every time I've gone. Hope it was a good time whenever you went. But anyway, the anthology series kind of took a back burner to what I'm doing now, which is I get to travel the state and tell the history of this one little town, Jackson, Louisiana. That's what we're going to be going to in 2026. So if you're in Jackson, get ready because the dread's coming for you. But we start, as far back as we can go. If we have pre-geological time, right there, we have, mostly older native tribes or cultures, most like Chafunkta, Marksville, these ancient cultures that existed in these areas at the time. You go that far back and then just go until modern time, and you tell all the significant things that happen. Obviously, if you're in the north of the state, you'll have some action in the Civil War, even the south of the state Civil War, so that's a big time period too. Whenever we were French and Spanish, you have Spanish stories, French stories, African stories. You have Vietnamese culture that would come in the 70s, so you have all these different little diasporas around the whole state. So you can really get more in depth. Also, this kind of pushes me to do, I don't want to call it activism, but it's more of like call to bring awareness to our land loss, right? We're losing so much land, and it's more of um, an awareness, a call to action. I don't know what else you would call it, just to make videos so people say, hey, look, we got this going on. It's not all doom and gloom though. There are programs that's happening that are helping, but it takes a lot, right? And then a lot more needs to happen. Went to UL. Kid Creole Studies. That's awesome. That's cool, man. That's awesome, T-Pat. I love it. Natchitoches has a crazy old brick factory, 90% decayed behind a salvage yard. I felt sad as history. Yeah, it was hard, Andrew, when you see those type of things. I mean, I grew up on Grand Isle, so I know all about that, just deteriorating building or just completely wiped out off the map. There's really no, precedent before, when you hit that hurricane, you just don't know it's gonna take. But uh, it's more of a, it's sad, but there are programs that you can look up. Excuse me. The Historic New Orleans collection has some, resources that you can kind of reach out to them to. Water, not moonshine, even though that is the topic. Tell us about the gumbo, bro. The DTB podcast, my people. Good seeing y'all at the Weenie Spaghetti Festival this past weekend. We had a good time. That was some good spaghetti they had out there. Also, Louisiana, a Weenie Spaghetti Festival. Weenie Spaghetti Festival. Isn't that great? Homa, of all places. Put it in your calendar. Next year, y'all got to go. So yeah, the gumbo. Hey, since y'all are listening right now, I might as well. I'll give you a hint. I know for a fact the DTB podcast people have been to 2 of these places on the top 5. One's in Lafayette. 2's in Lafayette. Lafayette got 2 on the list. St. Martinville got another one. That's all I can say. Y'all got to get the newsletter. This is a little fish, a little bait. Look at that. Look at Kyle learning to fish. This is a little bait. Y'all get the newsletter. And what's happening is going to be just a little hint. So like I say, 2 places. I know the DTB podcast. Ooh, I don't know why I couldn't say that. DTB podcast has been to. I know that. 2 of them's in Lafayette and one's in St. Martinville. And then y'all can, go Lafayette, Sassy Cajun. I like to keep doing that. It's just, it's delicious. I don't know how else to describe these gumbos, y'all. It's truly, they're just, it makes you feel like you're at home when you're away. I don't know how, like, if that makes any sense, but it just, the flavor of that, of a good cooked gumbo brings you back home, and it brings you back years. And you start remembering what it was like as a kid the first time you would eat something like that, right? I would imagine when I eat a good gumbo, like some of these places here that I'm looking at, you go back to your mama's house. You taste your mama's gumbo, or you can at least smell the aromas, and it kind of reminds you. It brings you that. Boudin balls and meat pies at Etouffee. Yes, indeed. Yes, absolutely. It transports you, a good gumbo. Mind, body, soul. Listen to me. People, the aliens are gonna come and they're gonna be like, "What the hell is this dude talking about?" That's what I think. Yeah. Open a baby food jar of fresh filet and the little Gerber container. Yes, absolutely. But yeah, so that's gonna be on this newsletter here. They're gonna have another one for like the Patreon people that it's more in depth. There's gonna be more of an article of history that, like, I used to write for the Lafourche Gazette. I mean, I will write for them again if there's a topic in Lafourche Parish. It's just I covered all of it. There's a lot, but we did a lot. If you ain't had gumbo, you just want to stand. Absolutely, all part of that venture. You're right. If you never had gumbo before, or a good gumbo, that's the thing. People have had gumbo, lots of people, but have they had good gumbo? 9 out of 10 times the answer is no, because they don't travel outside the city of New Orleans, right? They won't travel outside of there. Won't leave the city of New Orleans. And New Orleans has good gumbo. You're just not going to see it at a tourist place. Okay. I had tourists tell me that they loved Mambo on Bourbon Street. It was great. And that's awesome. I'm glad they liked it. I just didn't really care for the gumbo that was there. I'm sure they have other good dishes, and I'm not going to knock them, but you gotta broaden your horizons too, baby. You gotta go, just outside the city. It don't take too far. Go to the Zalmans. You get you some catfish. I can't do that, but you get catfish gumbo. Catfish gumbo, seafood gumbo, and you get a bill catfish on the side. T-Town represent Thibodeau. Yes, indeed. Y'all better come out to the King Cake Festival. King Cake Festival is where it's going to B, baby, B. Um, that's it's more of a and the gumbo. Oh, now I could do this. I'm gonna show y'all this cool thing that I'm gonna be doing. If y'all have kids, I don't know if y'all have kids. This book, Gumbo, Monica von Flam. She wrote it, illustrated by Courtney Strickland. It's just based on bingo, bingo. If you have any kids, this is a cool little book to read. You see, it's got all that. The illustrations are gorgeous, really, really well done. Highly recommend if you have kids. Now, and here's the thing: it's sung like bingo, bingo, gumbo, but the point of this, and this is the way at least I take away, is that yeah, the kid's gonna be able to sing, spell gumbo or whatever over and over again, but this will unlock a core memory for your children, your grandchildren, right? This will unlock that memory of them looking at you singing gumbo, Gumbo. And I think that that's a beautiful thing. I remember when my grandma used to sing to me and do all that kind of stuff. She would send me some random songs, and uh it's just weird. I don't know. It just transports you back. But that's what that book to me is more symbolic of hey, anything could be on this paper, but it's you. You're the one that's reading this, and the illustrations are gorgeous. And I said, hey, look, I want to tell. I said, I love this book. This is could be great for my audience that has children. And the best part about it, there ain't no tomatoes in that gumbo. No tomatoes in the gumbo. But yeah, pick you. I'll make a big a post about it too, so y'all gonna be able to check this out. I believe you get it on online somewhere. Um, but yeah, that's something that will open your mind when you get a good bite of gumbo. So definitely, if you haven't, you gotta go do that. I'm in Hot Springs, Arkansas, trying to score a homemade squirrel dish. All right, Hot Springs. I tell you what, I loved Hot Springs when I go. It was a fun time. You got a lot of gangster history, which is cool. That is love from Florida, Florida, baby. Welcome. So Arkansas, it was a fun time. However, it was one of the worst gumbos I've ever had in my entire life. Granny's Kitchen. Granny is losing her mind if she thought that was a good gumbo. I think, I mean, they tried, right? It was like gumbo zerbs, but more watery. It didn't look like a gumbo. I did the review on it as up there, but Hot Springs is such a fun place. It's just you gotta love hiking too. The hikes were great. I love just going out and drinking all the beer. Out here in Bogalusa. All right, Bogalusa. Love it. I love me some Bogalusa. I went out there to do that Bogalusa video. Smelt the haunt. It was pretty terrible because you just have that smell. Tons of history out there though. I had a guy argue with me in the comments not that long ago about Bogalusa. He goes, okay, so look, if you don't know, Bogalusa is it's a sawmill town, right? So the sawmill there's a bunch of trees here, and the sawmill was built so it could harvest the trees around naturally. It's the largest sawmill in the world at this time. 1903, 1902, it was built. Bogalusa was founded in 1906 because it's a sawmill town. The town grew because of the sawmill itself. It was established because of that sawmill. So I said, hey, the sawmill was built in 1902. And then this guy said, dude, how could you be more wrong? You can't be more wrong than this. It can't be in 1902 because Bogalusa was built in 1906. And I'm just thinking, bruh, do you eat paint chips every day when you wake up? That's my question. How much lead are you exposed to? No. Okay. Miriam's saying no. I'm kidding, obviously. But if you would have watched maybe a little bit later, it would say that. It would have said, hey, it's a sawmill town. And that's what I answered him. I said, hey, it's a sawmill town. built whatever. Sawmill came first. Isn't that the age-old question, baby? What came first? The Bogalusa or the sawmill? And the answer is the sawmill. I'm from near Eunice, Church Point side, kind of reshored. We call it patasa, like the perch fish. And our gumbo is definitely not like the gumbo restaurant serving Nola where I'm from. Now, yeah, you're right, Father John. Amen, baby. It just doesn't taste the same. It's commercialized. There are good spots, y'all. Don't get me wrong. If ever you go, if any of y'all visit New Orleans, I would recommend going to Gris Gris. Gris Gris. Speaking of patasa, Gris Gris. They have a good gumbo. If you love okra gumbo specifically, you have to like okra gumbo to enjoy this gumbo at Cochon. Cochon is also a good spot if you like okra gumbo. I'm just not an okra gumbo guy. I don't necessarily like okra, but they had okra bigger than my thumb in there, and it was chock-a-block. They like you couldn't have any more okra in there. So if you like that, Cochon's the place to go. Where's another one that I like? Oh, Baron Bistro. Baron Bistro is a darker roux. So if you do like a dark roux, very, very flavorful. Tell them Kyle sent you. They like us over there. Where nothing in the French Quarter. It's an abomination. St. John, the restaurant, that there's one in St. Martinville, but there's also one at the end of the French Quarter. That's the one. I'm not complaining about Nola food, but it's definitely not the kind of gumbo I grew up on. Right, right. I mean, like there's room for it, right? There's room for it in our on our taste buds. That's not commercialized. That's not a highly what word am I looking for? Like you make it in a big vat, you freeze it, and then you ship it. That kind of stuff. All right. That's it. Hate okra. Yeah, again, I'm not just that big of an okra. That's I don't know. I might get hate for it, but I'm not a fan of it. I prefer andouille, the chicken andouille gumbo and andouille sausage, and that andouille gotta be now you say bourgeois meat market. That's for sure. Oh, bro, if there's no okra, it ain't gumbo. There's always going to be somebody that says that. And I mean, truly, grow up if you say that. I'm just kidding. It doesn't affect, like, people have their own opinions on it. It's not that big of a deal. It's gumbo, y'all. The best way to enjoy gumbo is the way you like it. Am I going to go up to Granny's Kitchen in Hot Springs, Arkansas, visit my friend in the comment section here, and then we're going to go to Granny's Kitchen and say, hey, Granny, you can't cook this no more. You need to go to home. And then, no, of course not. Because people love the gumbo. Let them enjoy it. Even if it's terrible, let them enjoy it. I just don't want people to come from out of state and eat at a restaurant and then say, oh, this is authentic gumbo. And they got, corn, God knows what else in there, different strokes, different folks. Exactly. Proletarian Meat Market. You know what I'm saying? Proletarian. That's where is Proletarian Meat Market? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out what else. Trying to think what else I wanted to put on this newsletter that they get. I wrote it down, and it was 4 pages. Lord, I got all kind of little papers here. This is the gumbo. This is the. Okay, so we got. Oh, if anybody's seen, we watched a movie last night called Southern Comfort. Southern Comfort. Okay. Southern Comfort is about a movie that I think the Proletarian Meat Market is where you give your TWIC cards at. Oh. they give you the TWIC cards. That's how I feel about Chinese crawfish. Amen. Won't serve it in fear of anyone thinking it's crawfish. Amen. Do not eat that Chinese crawfish. Terrible. You love that movie, Father John. Father John Brown loves Southern Comfort. I do too. But here's the thing. They wanted us to think that the Cajun people were in the wrong so bad. They were like, okay, the people, the audience will resonate with these National Guardsmen. And wrong. Not me anyway. I was like, come on. And if you haven't seen it, it's a group of Louisiana National Guardsmen. We're gonna talk about that in a second too. That go into the swamp, right? To do some war game exercise or something. And they steal three pirogues. And it's pirogue. It's really not. It's what the guy said? Pirogue. Pirogue. But I'm not saying pirogue every time. So I'm gonna say pirogue. Three pirogues. They took it, and then they all had the National Guardsmen all had blanks, and then they started shooting, pretend shooting at these Cajuns, and naturally they steal their way of transportation, their way of life. Of course, they're gonna go after them. You know what I mean? Father John, he knows some of the Cajuns in the movie, so I knew they were. I knew they were. They really are Cajuns, right? I didn't look at the cast list or anything like that. I was hoping that they would, because they and hey, this is a trigger warning for everybody that's gonna watch it. I wish we kind of had that little warning. They go to a boucherie and they kill a pig, right? And they definitely killed this pig. Like, it's not, no animals were harmed in the making of this movie. No, opposite of that. Pigs were slaughtered. But I think, and I might be wrong. Roots, we talk about Southern Comfort, 1981 movie. Watched it last night. So I think that they were like, hey, we're gonna throw a boucherie anyway. Y'all film it. We're gonna kill these pigs anyway. So y'all might as well get the footage, film it, make it look authentic, right? Just come to a natural boucherie, a boucherie, and naturally kill the pig and stuff like that, you know. So I think that that's what it was. But as far as whose side you on, I was Team Cajun. You can ask Miriam the whole movie. I was like, get him, get him. And it could be anybody. It's not because, if they would have stole the pirogue, that's your way of life. That's how you make a living. That's how you do. So I was tough. Amen, Father John. Team Cajun. That's it. You got to be Team Cajun. Now, National Guard. Love the Louisiana National Guard. They're in town, not harming a soul. They walking around, they smiling, they having a good time. I love it. Keep them here. They're great people. And guess what? They're local. That's the difference here. So many people complain about the National Guard being in New Orleans, all that kind of stuff. And then people are like, they're going to stop the crime. They're not going to stop the crime. They're not going to harass people. They're human beings, y'all. And they're our cousins, our neighbors, my actual cousins, So, like, be nice to these people. They are home. I was walking down the street to go to work today, and they had three of them crossing the street. The guy was taking off a wreath from Canal Street, and he was moving the little car or whatever, and they were crossing the street, and then he's like, oh, I'm sorry, where y'all from? And they go, we from here. Yo, the Louisiana National Guard are us. So be nice to them. Stop giving them all this BS. If you hate ICE, right? National Guard, that's our people. Okay. I think that it just got like out of hand. So watching that movie last night though was very fun. I highly recommend y'all watch it. Now they talk, and that's what they really think about Cajun people. You watch that movie, you can see and you could tell that the writers really thought this about Cajun people. I just had that feeling. Team Cajun, baby, let's go. If you Cajun, you are Creole. Let's just say that. It is what it is. It is one thing. And we're not getting into all this right now. There's a time and a place for that. That ain't now. But I'm just here to tell you, if you Cajun, you are also Creole. It's like bourbon and whiskey. Not all whiskey is bourbon, but all bourbon is whiskey. I think that's really cool though. And uh, movies like that, I love. Right? Cajuns, it was great. Mark Savoy was playing the accordion with an ominous expression, but he always looks like that. That was him. I knew as I told Miriam, I was like, this has to be a local band, a local like something because they speak in French flawlessly. They are. It was either that or they got like a Quebecois actor or something. Other than that, it's a great movie. I enjoyed it. I say great movie. It's a good movie, right? It's like a cult classic type of film, right? Like the Goonies. Uh, but this is I kind of we need more representation in film, accurate representation. I don't want to see Halle Berry played this Creole woman in New Orleans. No, I'm tired of that. I want to see Hick Jeremy alongside Kyle Crosby playing a buddy cop movie. You know that kind of stuff. Authentic buddy cop movie in Down to Baya type of stuff. You know what I mean? Belizaire the Cajun. That I have not seen that, but the next week, maybe there's one day this week or this month, there's a screening of Belizaire the Cajun with Glenn Pete that's going to be screening in Baton Rouge. So we're going to be going to that for sure. Um, Glenn was kind enough to use my Fouchon video at the Lafourche Parish Welcome Center. So if you hauling it down Highway 90 and you hit by a Lafourche, get off that exit on the 308 side. I'm sorry, LA1 side. On the LA1 side, when you hit Raceland Matthews, stop at the Lafourche Parish Welcome Center. You're going to see a familiar face talking about Fouchon, the history of Fouchon, and the importance of Port Fouchon to not only Louisiana, but the world. So I think that meeting Glenn will be a good time. And seeing this movie is something that I've been wanting to do. Belizaire. That was filmed on Grand Isle, if I'm not mistaken. Father John should correct me if it's not. But that that's the kind of stuff we need more of. We need more Louisiana people behind the camera, in front of the camera. There's so many creative people, and there's so much talent here in Louisiana that can be explored. Now, again, film and television isn't for everybody. We also need electricians. So, branch out is what I'm saying. So, yeah, let's see. I see. Look, I keep procrastinating on this freaking newsletter. There's only one page left I got to do. I had it in one of my little notebooks here. How I want it structured. Initially, it went from because yeah. So I'm trying to do January, April, July, and October. 4 of them throughout the year, right? I'm gonna kind of focus a little bit more on just kind of getting everything out. There's gonna be like a little calendar of events that you'll be okay. Yeah, found it. Calendar of events that you'll be able to like book up, check in. See if you can make it and come visit me and say hello. Um, oh, so every newsletter is going to have the top 5 of something. This month is this quarter is going to be top 5 gumbos. The events calendar. Then it's going to have the Louisiana drinks and Louisiana estates columns. 2 little columns. Louisiana drinks, if you're not familiar, is our um, newer series. Excuse me, that focuses on the history of cocktails of Louisiana. That not necessarily were invented in Louisiana, but have such a huge effect on the culture or that our culture had an effect on. For instance, I always bring this up, the Pimm's Cup, right? The Pimm's Cup was invented in London, but it got so popular here in Louisiana that people just associate it with New Orleans at times. And the Napoleon House does really great Pimm's cups. They're known for like the best Pimm cups. So things like that. But I go to the chart room on Charter Street in the French Quarter with my boy Ulysses. Ulysses is a fantastic bartender. He worked in the French Quarter downtown So he's been slinging bar for a while, right? He knows what he's doing, and he's making some mean cocktails, y'all. Something I never even thought about combining. Now, obviously, the classics will show you, like the Vieux Carré, but Ulysses shows you how to make these cocktails, so you can do it at home. I also like to highlight local distilleries, local breweries, local uh, craftsmen that their vodkas, their gins, their bourbons that we use for this drink. So you can, if you're just traveling or if you live in Louisiana, you could go visit them, get a bottle yourself, and make the cocktail because y'all, these are so delicious. I picked these, and there's not a single one of them that was like, oh, this is terrible. All of them were good. So it's more of a, what is your taste? Like, what do you like? You like vodkas, you like gins, you got rum, bourbons, whiskey, all that kind of stuff. So Louisiana Drinks is growing. It's growing on me as our favorite series. I always love the quick history, and gumbo reviews obviously get me because I get to eat. But the drinks are so interesting. Like the different what had to happen to get this cocktail, to get this level of prominence. It's just very interesting. And then the Louisiana Estate series. That's the other one that is a highlight of uh, historic structures, historic buildings throughout the state of Louisiana, from plantations to government buildings and so on. I'll go in. Some of them are long gone, right? Mississippi River took them, set fire to, hurricane wipes out. So not all of them are still present, but I'm working with a brilliant animator. If Kristen Sharp, if you ever heard her, she's a brilliant animator. We're going to start bringing animation to show you this. And look, my 11 people in here, this is first people to get to hear about this. We are going to add this level of animation to some of these videos to bring these buildings back, to show you how beautiful they were and then crumble back to where they were. We're not going to alter anything. We're just going to tear it back down, leave it as we found it. You know what I mean? But it's important to see these structures that no longer exist too. You have no idea how much was taken from us, especially in the city of New Orleans, in terms of buildings that were demolished to put up a parking lot. They paved it to put up a parking lot. But that series highlights all this stuff, but also these structures that no longer exist, like the Trade Winds Hotel on Isla Dernière, because Isla Dernière doesn't exist anymore. It's Isla Dernières because you get three of them, right? There's not one island, but the Trade Winds got obliterated. So the animator, Miss Kristen here, she very, very talented, brings these structures back to life or shows you how these disasters, wink, wink, happen. Not to give too much about episodes coming up in the next couple of weeks, but it would be a disaster if you missed it. Looking forward to it. Awesome, Father John. I appreciate that, baby. Yeah, we have a lot to look forward to. How long have I been on here? 48 minutes. Yeah, I haven't stopped talking in 48 minutes. See, anytime I doubt myself, just remind me of this. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, there's no way I could talk for an hour about, you know, this, and the other thing. But we do it. We get it done. But the newsletter that will come out this month, guaranteed. And I can guarantee it. RIP Justin Wilson, we love you. I can guarantee it because at the very top left corner, what it says at the top left corner of that newsletter, Miriam?
January 2026.
That's it. It says January 2026, and that is holding me to it. So this newsletter, by hook or by crook, is getting out before the end of the month, and you'll have access to it if you go to louisianadread.com, click on newsletter, put your email in there. It's free, and it only happens 4 times a year. So, I don't know what else happens 4 times a year. A solstice? No, that's 2. Something that happens 4 times a year. How about that? So the newsletter is just gonna kill me. But I'm also going to we're gonna have to log off soon because I can't do all the 2 things at once because I want to talk to everybody here And you notice I barely typed anything. Yeah, I'm gonna get off and then I'm gonna finish this. And then my Patreon people, if you're watching and you're listening, my membership holders on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, uh, all that, I'm gonna be releasing the next video tonight. So you get it a week early. I'm probably gonna do two tonight since I was late on this one. Apologies again. And then, yeah, keep an eye out for us, baby. The dread's coming your way. You see me on the interstate, honk your horn, say hello. If you go slow in front of me, I'm gonna flash my lights and I'm gonna get really mad at you, but I'm not gonna cause you any harm. I'm just gonna bottle it up inside, and probably unleash it in about 10, 12 years. Who knows, in the form of a stroke. So how about you not do that and save my life? Thank y'all for laughing at that. That was meant to be a joke. Okay. Yes, that is the best way to find out. Getting this newsletter is the best way to find out where we're going to be, what we're going to be doing. And also, I love when y'all come out and show support. And I love talking to y'all. So definitely keep an eye out for things to come. Thank y'all so much for listening to me talk for this past hour. Y'all are great, best fans in the world. And I'll check y'all out later.